You are welcome to ARCN Television in Abuja, where you get to know and explore more on agriculture. I am Hilda Homsem Francois. On today's special report, a 3-day international workshop on designing demand-driven curriculum for agriculture education recently held, having all bodies of agricultural institutions and colleges in attendance. The participants anticipated new and better results after the workshop.
It's a welcome development. Actually, my expectations have been fulfilled. I'm fully educated, and I will go back home to enrich the curriculum we are having so that our students end up being employers of labor, not being employed.
The demand-driven curriculum will now be one of the most prime mover to move our education system so that it can meet up with the demand, aspiration, and yearnings of our youth. Now, the issue of white-collar job is no longer tenable. There is need for the student to have skill. There is need for the industries to be paid with technocrats that can be able to meet up with their own demand. Now, demand-driven curriculum is looking at that. What is a need gap? What is the assessment? How do we tailor our need? How do we channel our energy so that our youth can now have skill, can now have adequate technical know-how so that they can be able to meet up with this Millennium Challenge.
As Provost of a Federal College of Agriculture, I'm highly expectant of coming to network with colleagues from universities, from polytechnics and other colleges. And I was also looking out for ways of designing demand-driven curriculum as the theme of the workshop suggests. Because one thing I believe is that in agriculture, we need a radical change in how we design our curriculums to actually make them demand-driven in such a way that our graduates, by the time they go out to the job market, they will not be job seekers but job creators.
Participants hope that the government and policy makers can key into promoting and actualizing the dreams of the improved curriculum at all levels of the educational sector.
Those of us in the academia, we are the ones, saddled with the responsibility of designing and implementing the curriculum in the first place. But before such curriculum can be implemented, regulatory bodies like the NUC, the MBTE, the ARCN, and even government bodies like the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Education, they need to be carried along, and their input is also very important because driving the formulation and implementation of demand-driven curriculum can only be possible where there is adequate allocation of funds, and these are the bodies from where our funds are sourced.
There are many roles that the stakeholders can do. One of them is that they need to look at the curriculum critically and see how they can now key in what are the needs, what are the gaps that we are missing, what are we missing in our industries, what can our education system be able to play in, and how can this education system be able to address this particular problem. So the stakeholders should now look at curriculum together with the regulatory agency or regulating agency so that we now identify where the gap is, then we now address it squarely so that we can now be able to implement it appropriately so that it can now move the country forward.
Now, the executive organizer, supported by ARCN, Rock, Farm to Farm, among others, had this to say.
We are here to brainstorm over how we can make agriculture glamorous. This NATEM, which is Network for agricultural technical education in Nigeria through Winrock and farmer-to-farmer platform. We saw that it will be a good thing if we continue to diffuse some of the information, some of the knowledge and skills we have gained to our students. So at a time, we said, okay, let us form it to be a network in collaboration with USAID, Winrock, and farmer-to-farmer. Because every research has shown that our youth shy away from engaging in agriculture because of the nature of agriculture. Then, based on that, what are we doing to solve that problem, to remove the drudgery in agriculture and make it attractive and glamorous to youth? Then for the youth to start embarking on agriculture, we must change the way it is. There must be a paradigm shift to make it look better. We formed what we called Mageni, making agriculture glamorous. We called it Mageni in a general Hausa, which you know, Mageni is medicine. So we decided, we thought of it that whatever thing we can do to make it glamorous will be a medicine to cure the lack of interest in our youth pertaining agriculture.
In the redesign process that will change the role of polytechnics and the youth you are educating for Nigeria's future. In these closing remarks, I wish to congratulate all of you for your commitment to our youth and the future of sustainable food security. And I encourage you to continue your futuristic efforts.
NATEN is primarily keyed on the Magani concept, which is making agriculture glamorous and attractive for the Nigerian youth. But again, before you talk about making agriculture glamorous and attractive for the Nigerian youth, you must go back to basics. And when we're talking about going back to basics, we go back to the curriculum. And that is why we decided that there is the need to organize a workshop to train the trainers on demand-driven curriculum. There has to be a skill and market fit. So that is one of the objectives of this training.
This is a major program that Sasakawa Africa Association has been promoting and projecting in African countries, including Nigeria, and we have been able to increase employability of graduates from the different departments and the different programs that we have had. It also has been able to open several niches on entrepreneurship and also to be able to respond to the need of the industry and to the need of the communities to be able to serve them better and our graduates to become better than what they are. So in this particular workshop, people from colleges of agriculture, people from faculties of agriculture were invited so that we can line together and plan together how our current curriculum that has already been labeled as not being has been producing graduates that are not employable, how we can work around it with the regulatory bodies like the MBTE and the NUC, and then we will have students that are graduating and now they are sure that they can on their own set up enterprises that are profitable and that are rewarding, and at the same time contribute to the economy and help other farmers, help other people in the agricultural value chain to be able to be better in their enterprises.
The Executive Secretary, ARCN, Professor Shaributu, gave his closing remarks by encouraging all institutions and colleges to collaborate and put in effort to harmonize all they've learned in the workshop.
Before now, I'm sure most of us did not picture what curriculum is. A good number of my staff thought that it was just a question of what is the heading, what is the subtopic, and they just start listening and listening. Not until when they came, we looked at the template that was provided and for us to actually populate those in terms of aims, objectives, and all the rest. This is a good learning experience for those of us that have not seen it before. I'm sure the importance of this workshop has already been explained by my sister, Professor Ngada, in terms of what we can do, in terms of what we have learned. And I think curriculum development relies very much on the intellectuals, relies very much on those of us that are on the field. Our mandate is to advise the government in terms of agricultural extension training, as well as research. So you find out that you fall directly under our mandate, be you from the university, be you from the polytechnic, or from the college of agriculture. I want to repeat, those of us coming from the university, please, if there is anything going to the research institute or anything going to the federal colleges of agriculture, open your heart and see these young people as partners in progress, because the more we train them, the more you snatch them away from us. So don't deprive them of any opportunity, be it TED Fund or Agricultural Employment Fund. Make sure that you extend the hands of friendship as colleagues of yours to make sure that we enjoy what is Nigeria.
All participants were issued certificates at the end of the workshop, and a group photograph was taken to keep the memory. Thank you for watching. Keep watching ARCN television for more of our programs. I am Hilda Homsen Francois saying bye.